Give me all your money and I'll trade for you. So what we're talking about here is all the Forex investment opportunities that you see advertised online. There's sort of opportunities I'm talking about. They say, I'll offer to trade for you or I'll invest for you. Anything where they do something for you that doesn't involve you having to do anything. Now, why people choose to trust some random person they've never met or pretty much never even seen before with their money is completely beyond me. But I guess we should have a look at what those actually mean, how they actually work. So you would have seen these advertised where, they say invest a certain amount, they'll invest it for you. You'll see X amount of returns guaranteed each time and, whatever. So there's kind of like two types to this. There's ones where there's major big companies. And what they do is they kind of do it the way you do it with the bank. So when you put your money in a bank, you actually are doing one of those investment scam type things. So you give your money to the bank, they trade with your money, and they give you a small percentage of the profits and call it interest. Now, there's a few companies started that do that. These give you really small increases in your money, which actually is the same amount of money you get from investment from the bank. Maybe just slightly higher because they're taking your money and trading for you. But they always say your capital's at risk, but just like it is with a bank. The only problem is with these smaller sort of institutions or organizations, they actually are smaller, which means they don't necessarily trade the way the banks trade. So your money is actually at higher risk. So obviously those are no good. But do they give you a bit of profit? In general, kind of like yes, but your money is at more of a risk with them. But it's not that I'm going to talk about. What I'm going to talk about is the actual people who have courses where you get, well, not courses, where a small group they get people to sign up to. Except instead of giving you setup or teaching you how to trade like other people do, well, teaching you how to trade, what these people is they literally just say they'll just do the work for you. Just give them money, you don't have to do anything. Now, what happens is when you give them your money, they don't invest it, obviously. I mean, we'll get to the people at the end who actually do invest it, but most people in that situation aren't investing money. They literally just take it. What they do is they show you demo account trades. So they'll be like, look at this is your account, these are the trades, they're going really well, and you're like, oh, those are actually doing pretty well. Sometimes if they're more amateur, they show you really high profits. The people who are more professional show you smaller profits, so it's more believable. The reason they show you smaller profits is because what happens is sometimes they actually even let you take money out of the account. So you might be like, oh, I made like a small profit, so I want to extract a piece of that. So they'll actually let you extract it, so you build more of a trust with them. Then when you go to close your account or extract a much larger amount, then they say, oh, we've lost all your money. And you'd wonder, how did they actually lose all the money? If the profits are small, wouldn't the losses be small? Now, what happens in this situation is one of two things. Either they genuinely are trading with your money, which they're not because pretty much no one does that, but they genuinely are trading with your money and they've got like 5 take profits and infinity stop losses, which I've talked about in a previous video as something that's really stupid to do. In that situation, it's really possible they did lose all your money. But if they were just going to do that, you could have done it yourself. I'm sure you can handle losing your own money. But the other version is, the more likely version is, they let you take out tiny amounts here and there so you sort of build trust with them, but actually overall, they haven't invested your money. And when they say we've lost it all, there's nothing you can do about it because legally they're absolved because they did tell you that your capital is at risk when you sign up with them. That's pretty much what they do, and that's how it all works. So you don't want to be signing up with these people. Like I've said, the worst people to sign up with are the people who say they'll trade for you. The small people. If you go into a bigger institute or organization, it's better. You'll get a higher return than a bank, say for example, but your risk is also higher. So it's okay, but overall, if it does work out for you, you're not going to make any sort of money, really. I mean, you might make 2% a year versus with a bank, like, I don't know, 0.25% a year. Versus if you were actually trading for yourself, you might make 5% a year at minimum, or you could make upwards of like thousands of percent per year, depending on what you do. But you're doing just as well if you only make 5% a year. I mean, that's still higher than banks or letting other people trade with your money. So either way, there is, good opportunities on all sides of things, but if it comes to giving a person your money to trade with, that's probably the stupidest mistake you could make. If you do that, there's more than 100% chance you're losing your money. But anyway, that's pretty much that. So now you know, don't sign up with these people. I'll trade for you. Pretty much always a scam. You can assume 100% of the time it's a scam. What you should do is learn to trade yourself, or you can buy setups from people, anybody else you think is reputable. I don't really know off the top of my head. I can't really think of anybody. But if you think you can make money with someone, or you can make yourself, that's really what you want to do. You know, ideally, always want to be in charge of your own money. Don't give it to someone else to invest for you, because you can guarantee 10 times out of 10 it's going to fail. So you want to always have a hand in it and know what's going on. That's how it is with pretty much everything. And that really is how it is with Forex. But that's the end of this video. If you want more Forex content, like, subscribe, comment. Comment's the main one. It builds the channel. More people will find this stuff. I do provide all these Forex videos for free, obviously. You should be able to do well with whatever you end up doing. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.